Hi, and welcome to Get Psyched with Mary Mazur. I'm Steve Harper, and if you're somebody that just feels like you're stuck in life, you want to move forward, you feel like you have a block, and you can't really figure it out, we're going to help you out with that. Today we're going to learn about PSYCH-K, and she knows all about PSYCH-K. She is an amazing certified PSYCH-K instructor and facilitator, a certified holistic nurse, and the owner of Ignite and Heal Ministries, and she is Mary Mazur. And it's great to have you here, Mary.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve.
People are talking about PSYCH-K. I'm hearing it all over the place now. It's been around for decades, but a lot of people are just learning. Let's start from the beginning. What exactly is PSYCH-K?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah. It's actually an ancient tool that has come back, which is pretty fascinating. And it's a tool to help us change our limiting beliefs at the subconscious level of the mind. So the subconscious mind is the part of us that records everything that we had, especially our 0 to 7 years old. And that's everything there was so literal that we downloaded to help us prepare for our lives. Many of them weren't so good, some of the stuff we got. And it just was because we were in fear, in survival. And what Psyche is here for to help us to change those so that we can step into our personal power for who we are, create the lives that we would love to live, and to live in love instead of fear. So
I really want to dig into the subconscious because it is so powerful. It really is, it's like your GPS for life.
Thank you. Yeah.
And things that you may have heard when you were between, and even birth. I hear sometimes that even before you're born, that you could internalize things and that kind of programs you for the rest of your life. So let's go into that, talking about the subconscious and how much we use it every day.
Yeah, and there's a saying, Dr. Bruce Lipton is a cell biologist, so he teaches a lot about the subconscious mind, which is awesome. And he even says that the Jesuits have said, give me a child his first 7 years and I'll give you the man. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly, which means what you get programmed, this is who you become. This is how we're designed to be, or we were at least. That was back in the Pisces age we talked about, the 20th century. We're in the 21st century now, the Aquarian age. So now we get to change that. Just because you have beliefs within you, it doesn't mean you have to stay that way. You get to change that. So the subconscious mind is the part of your mind that is the recorder. And then what happens to us, so let's say you're 5 years old and you're running through, which actually happened to me, running through the kitchen. And your mom says, hey, get out of here. I don't want you in here right now, because she didn't want to go spill hot water all over me, okay? You can take that literally, I don't want you here. And then you program that into your subconscious. And then as the interpretation is very literal, okay? So there were aspects. So actually, Psyche actually helped me with transforming that, to change that. My mom didn't mean she didn't want me. It's just what I heard, and I didn't know how to conceptualize it for the whole context of what's going on. So we misinterpret things, and we just record it to the level that we can understand at that time. The gift is you get to expand on that and change that. So the subconscious holds that for you. And then the gift is now, and then what also the subconscious does is actually presents it out into your world. So because of those programs, the subconscious runs everything in your body. Everything in your body. So this way we don't have to think about what we just had for breakfast, or how our heart's running, or how everything's going to be moving and flowing, even in our cells, right? Our subconscious runs all of it. How beautiful is that? It's automatic.
Well, good and bad.
Well, there you go. Well, because
Right?
if there's glitches, then that's because there's some limiting beliefs there.
Yeah.
There's restrictions there. And our emotions are held there about density of emotions, whether it's sadness, shame, guilt, fear, things like that. Our bodies hold all that. The whole gift is that you can change it. And that's what Psyche offers for you in a very simple and effective way.
Isn't it true that your subconscious is 95% of your life? It's doing everything, and the conscious part is only the 10%?
That's exactly it. Yeah, or even 5%. Yeah, or even
boy.
Bruce Lipton even says 1 to 5%, which is that.
Wow.
Right. Well, we're living consciously for making the choices that we want to do. But how do we make the choices? It's based on the beliefs that we have. Because the beliefs that we have create our values. We have values for stuff. And everything's on a spectrum. So the spectrum of life is that for some of us, we maybe didn't have the worthiness. And we got maybe harsh experience. Even for myself, I was raped as an 8-year-old girl. And so with that, I lost that whole worthiness stuff, humiliation, being, it's just, it affected me greatly. With Psyche, it was huge because I was able to actually shift those beliefs.
Wow.
And especially with forgiveness, to forgive myself and others and to feel safe here. Feeling safe here is huge. And then knowing everything is purposeful. It was just an experience I had. And the gift is I can use it as a stepping stone for me to have more compassion, more joy, and actually experience for more love. So this is what we get to do. Those programs, but because I had those programs, yeah, I did live fearfully or cautiously, or it was hard for me to feel safe, around, yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. And that
Absolutely.
just shows the power of
Amen.
PSYCH-K and also the subconscious. When I was in that age range, I was bullied because I was a big kid. And I know that it had an impact on where I am today until I fixed it, till I went back to it.
Right, exactly. You have to go back to those pieces, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then your life will show it. So that's what it does with the programs you have in your subconscious mind. Your life, what's getting your attention, whatever's getting your attention, the thoughts you have within you and the feelings that you have, the emotions that you are vibrating in, those are all based on the beliefs that you have. So if you keep having thoughts in your head coming over and over and over again, let's say even while you're bullied, when you're young, and you hopefully, like you said, recovered from that, which is huge. The old-fashioned way is doing it with repetition and say, I'm going to show myself that, I can stand up for myself. I can speak up for myself. And look at you now. You're speaking up greatly, right?
But it was a journey.
Yes, right.
And then you have your parents and challenges, like you said before, that they don't mean to do that. They're just raising you. Or it could be a situation where you hear something in a room and you're 5 years old. It's not even directed at you. It wasn't for you. You just heard somebody say something, you internalize it, and that is your GPS for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it might not be a good one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then the gift with PSYCH-K too is that another analogy you're bringing up with the GPS, which I love, is I'd love to offer that. So when we're living our lives, like you're saying, doing the best you can, like you were able to solve that for yourself. Some of us aren't able to solve some things. It's still things keep repeating itself, right? And this is what PSYCH-K is helpful for. It's as if if I was going to go travel somewhere and go on a car road, if I just said I'm going to figure it out, I'm just going to pull out at the gas station, ask somebody where to go. That is one way of doing it. But it would take a bit, right, to try and figure out where you have to go.
Yep.
What do we have now? We have Waze. I love Waze.
Same.
I do. I'm like, thank you, Waze.
Tells you where all the red light cameras are, too.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And the police, which is really nice.
I wasn't going to say that, but you
I
did.
know. Hey, it did. The communication system, because we can communicate.
Right.
Absolutely. So for me, even in the beginning when I started using Waze, I still didn't trust it and didn't like it because I'm like, well, what happens if it doesn't give me exactly where I want to go? There's still that lack of trust.
Right.
We do that with our own spirituality, our own internal guidance system. Is a lot of what we'll do too. We'll be like, no, I'm not going to listen to Waze and I'm going to go my own route. I've done that and I got caught in traffic. And I'm like, oh, now I know why Waze wanted to take me to a different route.
What a great analogy, because
See?
Waze could be your gut.
Yes, exactly.
And then you go against it. Nah, you know what? It's too easy. How could that possibly be? And then ultimately you fail on your goal.
That's exactly it. And our bodies are communicating with us all the time. Exactly like you said, our gut, our intuition, are just that it's the knowingness that we actually have. But a lot of us have lost a lot of the faith in that, the trust in that.
Can we go there?
Yes,
I know
please do.
it's a slight
I love it.
digression, but it's all part of what we're talking about.
Yes.
How do you trust your gut, and how do you know that it's legit? Like it's telling you, hey, this is what you should be doing. Because I feel that sometimes it's almost too easy. But that's the answer.
Well, thank you for that. Well, and the question comes in, is it based on love or is it based on fear? So if the gut is out of fear, that you're not gonna, let's say you're too afraid of doing something. For example, I do parkour. I love parkour. I do it with my son. So we jump on things and climb things. And I went to go do a high jump. It was a high jump and I had to go. And I could feel the fear. I could really feel the fear, but I wanted to go. You can recognize the fear and say that you want. My gut was saying, no, I could actually fall and really hurt myself. Okay. And we're going to have feelings. The key is you're not your feelings. You get to just check in with it. Okay. I checked in with mine. I did use, actually, with the PSYCH-K balance change process, you can use it very quickly, and I helped shift that fear
So
within
you
me.
use PSYCH-K at that moment?
I did.
To kind of just internalize for double checking. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, okay, thank you, fear, for showing up, because that could be a potential timeline. I could have hurt my ankle and fallen off of the thing and hurt myself pretty badly. That is a thought, because we get a thought that the worst could happen. Many of us do that. We also have a thought that the best could happen. So how often are we looking into the positive? That's where love comes in. That's where knowingness comes in. That's where faith comes in. And then what would you like to do? I wanted to challenge myself with a level of courage to go leap. It was a 6-foot leap of a very high place with a very small landing. Right.
Yeah,
And being the
you don't land the right way.
No,
you have a
exactly.
big problem there.
Exactly. But the gift of doing this is that, so the gift comes in is, what do you want to do? So check in with yourself when you get ever that gut feeling of what you have within you. Thank it for being there. That's the first thing. Okay. Because it is communicating with you. And then even for me, I even had the fear in there, and I'm like, okay, I appreciate that you're there, fear, but I'm choosing to have fun. I'm choosing to have a little risk and go for it. I'm going to choose to be okay. So I did transform my perception of that fear within just a minute using PSYCH-K. And my bodily, actually, that fear went away, the gut relaxed, and I stepped into my knowingness, and I just chose, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to land beautifully. And I did, and I landed it perfectly. Wow. So I said, well, there you go.
Interesting. I have a friend who took hang gliding lessons and said exactly what you said, because he's going to jump off, 2,000-foot cliff, and his initial thought is, I don't know about this. Well, let me double check this. Equipment is right on that. I'm good to go, because he's in tune with his gut. And I always feel that if it's a lighter feeling in your gut, it's the right answer. And if it gets kind of heavy, it's like, probably not the right thing to do. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but that's that. You have to figure out how your gut talks to you, because everybody's different.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is important to listen to it. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely listen to your gut. Absolutely. And the gift, what I'm just offering, is that you can actually change it.
Yeah.
Because the fears that we have will still limit us. And that's the thing, is I'm choosing to live in love instead of fear now. And so I'm challenging any fear that comes up, because things still come up for us.
Of course.
Because we're living, exactly. And we're going to have all kinds of stuff come up for us.
And I think it goes back to prehistoric times, where we're programmed that way for fear, just to make sure that we're not going to harm ourselves and it's all going to be okay. But sometimes you dwell on the fear and it holds you back. It blocks you from moving forward. So let's get into PSYCH-K, how it actually works and how you overcome those fears and move forward.
Yeah, thank you for that. So the gift is asking the right questions. You're going to ask yourself, how would you rather it be? How do you want it to be? So if something is holding you back, thank it for being there. The fact that you can even recognize that you're being limited is actually huge. It's actually really huge.
Well, so is gratitude, and you're thanking it.
Well, yes, well, absolutely too. And that's a big step if you can do that, because you're actually stepping into neutrality, which is in a positive energy field. And that means you can actually just pause and be an observer of yourself. That's super huge. And you can listen to the thoughts you're having and listen to the feelings you have. And if you can recognize that, and then you choose how you'd rather have it be. How do you want it to be in your new way? Choose the positive instead of the negative. We're the creators of our lives. And you're creating everything based on the beliefs you have. PSYCH-K just helps you change those beliefs. So whatever comes up, if it is anything limiting you, where you're maybe just too afraid to make a big step, you can just say, okay, ask yourself, what would I need to believe so that I could make that step? You have the answer within you.
Yes.
So this is what PSYCH-K helps you also access. And it could be, okay, well, maybe I get all the help that I ever need. Because maybe it's that just by knowing you have help that you'll be successful in something. So what we do with PSYCH-K is we use muscle testing, and your body communicates with you. And if your system goes weak, that just means there's an internal conflict happening within you, which means you're restricted or there's a block.
So with muscle testing, I want to go there right now so
Sure.
people understand it. But my understanding is I always believe the answer is within, like you said. And when you do a muscle test, you're getting the real, bypassing all of this, and it's coming from within to give you the answer, the baseline of where you're at.
Yeah.
So how do you do the muscle testing? Can you show us how that works?
Oh, well, yeah. We actually teach it in a workshop. So we'll be talking about the 3-day workshop of how we use it with PSYCH-K.
Okay.
So there is a process that we have a set system that works very effectively. And we teach people how to use self-muscle testing so they can work with themselves and actually do that. And there is things online. People can look online.
Sure.
For PSYCH-K, we do a specific way.
Gotcha.
But we do teach it in the workshop. But the gift is exactly, you can begin to communicate with yourself using your body, which is really neat too. And we just use it as a yes-no communication system. You set it up in that way, which is really amazing. So then you can check in to see, is there any resistance at the subconscious level that's blocking you? If there is, you get to change it by putting in what you do want. You're going to create a goal. You're going to create a new way that you'd like to be. Before you make any change with PSYCH-K, this is a spiritual process. So you do check in with the highest aspect of yourself. We call it the superconscious mind. So people may call it, a higher self, source connection, God connection. It is that we do have that part of us. It's our spiritual aspect that's always watching over us to make sure the path we're on, that this is a good thing for you to do.
So like checks and balances, like a double check.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have that. So if it's not safe, you don't make that change, and you go and find out what would be safe for you, and then you make that change. So this is the gift. You can't do any harm to yourself, and you can dream at the highest level. I know for myself, how I use it is I go to the highest level. How can I be at my highest, best way here? And as long as I get permission to go that level, I love to leap high. Yeah,
Why not? Why wouldn't you want to?
Thank you. I left the
Let's go
land
to
of
the
fear.
top if we're there, if we can get there.
Exactly.
How is PSYCH-K different from other self-help modalities, like let's say hypnotherapy?
Yeah, thank you. The biggest gift is that, especially when you come to a workshop to learn it, is that you use it for yourself. It's your own personal GPS system, like you had said, connection with your spirituality and your highest level of what you would love to create here, really bringing the heaven here on earth. So the difference is that you get to work with yourself, and then you get to access the wisdom within yourself and then go make those changes. Whereas any other modality, you're working with somebody else and they're doing it on you. Where PSYCH-K, you're doing it with yourself. So it's a with or a we. And it's all unconditional love that's supporting you to do it. So that's the biggest. And another big issue is that it's fast and it's effective. Other things just may take a little bit longer. PSYCH-K just is the fast track. And it's because we're in these fast changing times. This is exactly why it's here to help us to make the changes in a more effective and direct way.
Interesting, because hypnotherapy, depending on what changes you're trying to make, it can take a number of sessions. And then some people don't want to feel like they're controlled by somebody else or have the perception of that. And some people feel, hypnotherapy, somebody else is doing it for you. You're really doing it yourself, but they're facilitating it. It sounds like with PSYCH-K, you've got somebody helping you, but it's all you.
Exactly. Yeah. So even if you do a private session, the PSYCH-K facilitator is supporting you and holding that space for you, asking you some key questions. You're the one making all the changes. You're just accessing their system for all the PSYCH-K balance changes because their system knows the balance changes. And then you go and make all those changes within yourself.
How did you find PSYCH-K?
Yeah, thank you for that. So it was with Bruce Lipton's book. Dr. Bruce Lipton is a cell biologist that does tremendous amazingness about, he's changed the whole dynamics of how even science is even looked at, or even how doctors are looking at things now. Because they used to believe that it was genes, that we just got born with whatever our parents had, and if they have those same diseases, we're going to get the same thing too. Dr. Bruce Lipton, the cells that he worked with taught him differently. So he learned from his cells, and that it's actually our cell membranes, not our nucleus. So it's not the DNA you got from your parents, it's actually the cell membranes, and it's based on your receptor cells. We're basically radio station channels is what we are. We have antennas up, and whatever station you're on is because it's the vibration you're running in. So if you're in a lot of fear or worry, you're going to be running that, and you're going to get a lot of stuff coming to you that reflects that.
Well, yeah, you're asking for it.
Exactly. Well, and you don't know any different.
You don't know any different.
Fear.
Exactly.
The gift is once you can make those changes, and so Bruce has shown is that you get to change those stations and bring in the new way. So we get to change our lives, and it's all based on your subconscious mind's the one that's running all of this as far as the programs. So Bruce is huge. I read his book, and in the end of his book, Biology of Belief, it said, if you want to make these changes at the subconscious level, what he found was PSYCH-K was what helped make his change. Because that's what helped him launch his book and change his whole life to what he's doing now.
So you read that book, but you didn't read it just for PSYCH-K. You were just reading his book, and then at the end of it, he said, yeah, use PSYCH-K. If you're interested, check it out.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Yeah, well, and the book came to me because my husband was diagnosed with leukemia. And within that year, I made the intention, no, we're going to find a way that you can self-heal if you want to. Because I had to honor that if he wanted to go, because it is a gateway for people to go. His dad died at 50 with complications of cancer. His oldest sister died at 50, complications of cancer. Wow. He was 45, and he was tracking in that line too. He's still alive. He's 59. So terrific. He did change it. In 14 years, he helped himself heal himself. So I went to go help him. And then I didn't even realize I needed the help. And that's what happens. A lot of us that are helpers here, we want to go help everybody else, but actually begin with yourself first.
We could do another hour on self-care. And the fact that nobody takes care of themselves typically.
Thank you.
You're always taking care of everybody else. But finally, people are realizing that and how important it is. Yeah.
Because I was a nurse. I was helping everybody that way. I was a mom, right? The sister, the whole dynamics. I got that from my mom, to be selfless, to always think of others, put yourself last. But that doesn't go so well.
I think it's a generation.
Yes.
Now we're kind of programmed that way and it's not really a bad thing. I guess it's a bad thing for us, but for the universe, not so much. But if you don't take care of yourself, you can't effectively take care of others.
Well, that's exactly. It's the same thing when you go on an airplane and the oxygen comes down, put it on yourself first. Or I like to say, let yourself be divinely selfish. And that's what I became. I became divinely selfish. People think, oh, selfish, what the heck? No, it's okay. We are meant to put ourselves first. We're here to be responsible for our own selves. And then when we are really good, we can help others so much
Even
greater.
better.
Exactly.
But for some reason, we always put guilt on ourselves. Like even for somebody, watching this right now and thinking, this PSYCH-K thing sounds pretty cool. I could probably change my life. That might be a good idea. However, I'm not going to do it. I have other things going on. I'm not going to take that step. Yeah, you need to.
Yeah.
Because you'll be so much better for other people and the universe in general.
Exactly. And guilt is just a contracted energy. It actually isn't real, if I can offer. Love is the only real energy there really is. That may be a lot for someone to handle. It's how we are made. We actually are at the highest level love and light beings. Most of us don't even realize that. They think we're just human beings, just doing the best we can, living here. You're way more. And this is the gift right now, is to wake up to this. You are way more. Every single one of us on this planet are divine beings of light and love. Anything like guilt, shame, fear, worry, those are just distortions. They're actually illusions that we created in our minds completely. It's all a game. It's all a matrix, just like the Matrix movie.
Oh, boy.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah.
Huh. What do you say? And I'm a firm believer in Psyche, the subconscious mind, and how it really controls all of us. What do you say to somebody who thinks this is woo-woo? Like, come on, how's that going to really change me? That's like, I'm going to take a couple of lessons in Psyche and it's going to be, everything's going to be great. What do you say to somebody like that?
Yeah, well, actually for them, they're just not ready for it.
Okay.
So, and it's okay. And that's what I say. You keep doing what you're doing and see how that goes. But you'll get to a point where you're going to get really frustrated because life is going to show you. We are all designed to move towards the light, to move towards the love of who we are, and to actually share our gifts. This is at the highest level. So if you aren't open to this at all, it's okay. This isn't for you. And there are lots of other modalities. Go on the stepping stone. People do a lot of other things before they even come to Psyche many times. You don't have to. I didn't. I kind of just jumped right in. But other people do. You got to listen to that internal gut. So that's everything.
Yeah.
The Psyche is for people that just have a nudge that, wow, you know what? I'm ready to make the change. You have to have that self-responsibility for yourself to realize you're creating your own reality. Whether you even realize that or not, you're in the game. If anything's happening to you, it's because you're in it and you're in all of it. So when you can realize, and it's okay, that it's just based on the beliefs that you have running, and then you can change those beliefs.
But sometimes it takes you time to get there. And for me, I'm the biggest skeptic. I really am about everything until I see it. And so I know you do Reiki. You're a Reiki master, practitioner. That's where I started.
Beautiful.
Then same thing with chakra balances. And again, then I realized, it's all about energy. And then that's where you get to the next level and you think about subconscious mind and how it's controlling you, or you're allowing it to control you. And then I think from there, Psyche. It just seems like it's a logical choice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing is that you've got to realize that, okay, we have a time stamp for how long we're going to live on this planet. Okay, all of us do. There's a time we're going to go. At the end of your life, are you going to say, wow, I'm really glad I did this. I'm really glad I took the risk here. I'm really glad I said, what the heck, I'm going to do that. Or are you going to be at the end of your life go, man, I'm in regret. I wish I would have done it. What the heck? Why did I do this and this and this when it meant nothing? Do you get that? You can actually do it right now, today, and just say, wow, where am I right now? Look at your life. And that's what I do. I check in with myself every day. How are things going? How are things going? And I let whatever feelings come up, whatever thoughts come up, whatever things that I don't like, wow. Okay. And then you'll find a way that you can begin to go change those. If you don't want to use Psyche, you'll find other ways. It's okay. If you want to do something that's a lot easier and faster, you might want to check out Psyche.
Let's talk about how fast.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah. When let's say you start a Psyche journey, what are we talking in terms of time?
Okay. Well, I'll use an example. I was on a Verizon call yesterday before I came on my trip here, and I had an issue. I had a glitch. So this is what happens.
Okay,
we get
so
glitches.
I'm with tech support.
I was on tech support. Oh my gosh, hours on the phone.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah, and I even went to the Verizon store, and this has been going on for a couple months. So I have a business line with my ministry, and it was having glitches with an auto payment. So there was just a glitch. They couldn't help me. They shut stuff off. It was just glitches. I call them glitches. There's just blocks. Okay. My life, yes, I get it too. We all get it.
Oh yeah.
And we can change it. So I used Psyche, which is wonderful because I have this tool. I went to the workshop and learned how to use it for myself. So,
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
yeah, thank you.
Like
'Cause
how we applied PSYCH-K to the situation?
it did. It exactly changed it with like this. It was
How?
hilarious. Okay.
How did it happen?
So on the phone call, before I thought of using PSYCH-K, I just kept going in like, I'm going to get this solved, where basically what it is, I wanted to get my auto payment turned back on again, but they wouldn't do it. Whatever, they had a restriction. They had some goofy rule going on. So whatever it is on their end, they were just not going to do it. I went to the store a few times. I've called them a few times, and then I even talked to supervisors. It still was dancing around, nothing happening. And then after the third little phone call in the same day of the hour and a half, I'm like, I'm going to use PSYCH-K. So what I did is I stepped into how I felt. I took ownership of how I was feeling. I was creating all of this. I was frustrated. I was even mad. I was even talking like I was pissed off with the one guy because he was not helping at all, and he was being a biatch on the phone. This is how I felt.
And you're paying.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Not to digress here, but
Yeah.
you're paying for a service. It's not cheap. You know,
Right.
you look at your plan,
Yeah.
and, you know, when service drops or you just want to make an auto payment, I want to give you my money. Why is
And
this
you
so
won't
difficult?
do it. Thank you. But they had some type of glitch. Exactly. And then I'm like, that's what I kept. But what it was is they weren't hearing me. There was a glitch happening. All I wanted is them to be able to hear me and then solve it. And then we could have it all work out well. This is kind of what happens in our lives. Can we just have things be easier? Can we just live nicely? But
Please.
it's not happening. Well, I admitted I was creating all of this. So with PSYCH-K, I transformed my perception of the situation. I stepped into how I felt because I was mad, and I took ownership of it, of the feeling, that frustration. And with the PSYCH-K balance change process, I got permission with my superconscious mind that it's safe and appropriate for me to transform my frustration in density and restriction up into a high level of peace and non-attachment. And I did that within about 30 seconds with the tool. It's a 7-step process that you learn. I stepped in fully of all that frustration, and it literally dissolved into peace and non-attachment. And then it literally, as soon as I did that, within the next probably about 15 seconds, I got another supervisor of this woman that helped solve it literally within about 15 seconds. And I'm like, I think I like PSYCH-K.
Okay, questions.
Sure.
And I'm totally on board for everything you said. You transformed the way you were thinking to transform the situation. How do you think, once you did that,
Yep.
and you got permission from within and your higher self and your subconscious, how do you think that made the change to that supervisor in the next, say, 30 seconds to make it happen?
And I love that question. Beautiful. My energy went from being in a density of restriction, of a separateness of my frustration, into a high energy of peace, of oneness. You literally are connecting back into the oneness, interconnectedness of everybody. We actually are all interconnected. Even the supervisor at the highest level is an aspect of me. We're back into a wholeness. So my energy was one of a flow now instead of a chaotic. Okay. When you get into the densities, you get into chaos. Okay. I was in a flow. And then in my peace, and I was not attached to the outcome now, where before I was making it happen. I wanted her to do something for me. So I was trying to control her in my thoughts to make her do something that I wanted her to do. We all try and do this. We all do this.
Yeah.
Instead, I shifted to just be non-attached. I'm just open, and I know it's all going to get solved. I shifted just into my knowingness of a flow. And that's all I can say is my energy field went higher. And with that, she responded in a higher response back. And her energy was positive and helpful and exactly what I was intending. I just had created the resistance. So I removed that resistance, and then it all came in.
One final question on this. So I'm a big believer in your energy. The energy you put out there, it knows no time and space. It could travel across the universe, across the world. Okay. You raised your energy to a point where it was good. How did you transform that energy to that person? How did you get that person who accepted your energy and made the change for you?
Oh, well, and it's just energetic. So it's nothing that we do on a conscious level at all.
Does it come back to, I put it out there and I got it back?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's
All
exactly.
right.
Whatever you put out, you're going to receive back. And that's actually moving a lot faster now. So that's exactly it. Whatever we do put out, it does come back. So help yourself put out the best. And this is what PSYCH-K can offer.
I love that. And you can use that in any situation. Let's say you have a challenge or a conflict with your kids. Your spouse, partner, whatever it might be. Instead of reacting, just change your energy, and it'll change the outcome.
Exactly.
But unless you have the tools like PSYCH-K, it's not going to happen. Because how do you do that?
Well, thank you for that. Because actually, without the tools of PSYCH-K, life's going to present you with stuff. Because you're going to get stuff that's going to create you to be in that situation, right? So
Sure.
like, let's say anger. Yeah, you get really mad, you get really frustrated. A lot of people will get explosive with it because that's just, you're in an you're automatically going to respond by your subconscious
And
mind.
that's normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People do, right? The gift comes in is if you can reflect on it afterwards, okay? And then ask, wow, did I really like doing that? You know, how did that feel? How did that feel for me
It
or
never
them?
feels good.
No, exactly.
No, it's frustration. And even when the situation is fixed, diffused, whatever it might be, you walk away like, huh, all right, on to the next thing. You're waiting for the next conflict
Right.
because you were so prepared for that one.
And you
Why
don't
not
think it's
live in
going to change.
peace?
That's exactly it. So and that's it. And then if you can, this is where, right, you'll go find learn how to use a tool like PSYCH-K.
You know, with the word, and you said it before, peace. Growing up, I would go to church and I would always hear, peace be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Even as recent as like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
peace be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm with you. Never realized what it meant until I realized I need some peace. And when you find it and it's there and you live in love and you raise your vibration, it's like, oh, that's living. That's what it's supposed to be like.
Yes, exactly. And actually, I didn't feel peace before I learned PSYCH-K, and I didn't know any different because you don't know anything to
Same.
compare to, right?
Yeah.
But I began making the changes within myself, and it was raising up my personal power within me, my worthiness, knowing I'm safe. These are huge, knowing I matter, that I'm good enough. A lot of people don't.
Oh, that's the
we get
last one is a big
huge,
one.
exactly.
It really is. And that one starts a lot of times in your childhood.
Yes.
It really does.
Right.
Yeah. And you are good enough and you're worthy enough.
Mm-hmm.
So why not be your best self? How do you live in love? How do you said it before? I know it sounds kind of, spacey and, all of that, but how do
Yeah.
you find that? How do you, stay positive all the time?
Oh, well, thank you for that. So it's not a matter of even just staying positive. I live in that energy now. And it is based on, I address the things that I didn't want to address, I didn't want to experience anymore. So I got responsible for myself and just say, every pieces that were broken off from me and hurt and wounded, I stepped into those pieces and I brought love back to it again. And this is really what you do with PSYCH-K. You return the unconditional love. You include all those parts within you that you pulled away from yourself. The outside world will show it in the outside world ways, but it's actually all within you. So and I'm so grateful now because I know the giddiness and the love and the joy is just heaven on earth. Yeah.
And again, for everybody that thinks it's woo-woo, why would you not want to feel that? I don't know.
Hello.
I don't get it.
I know,
and again, I'm a
exactly.
skeptic.
Right.
But when you get to that point, then you figure it all out. So if somebody wants to make a change in their life and look at PSYCH-K as one of those changes, they can reach out to you. What's your website?
Okay, thank you. Igniteandhealyourlife.com. So ignite, because you're igniting your personal power within you. Ignite and heal. Okay, you're elevating yourself up into the love and the joy of who you really are.
I think a lot of us need to realize that we need to heal. And you almost don't want to admit that to yourself because it sounds like you're faltered. But the majority of us, if not all of us, need to heal from something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's only because we chose to experience it. We all chose to be born in the 20th century, the ones listening here. So the ones now in the millennial, I know, they're actually, I'm grateful they're here. But 20th century, we came in a really dark time. There were a bunch of wars. There was a bunch of, the lack, the survival thing. It just was. We chose at the highest level. People can understand that we choose so we can learn and we can share our gifts and grow and expand here. So the healing is just a way of really like elevating yourself like a balloon. That's how I call heal like helium and elevate.
Okay, interesting.
So if you can see it from a new way, you just okay. We had a lot of contrasting experiences. We had a lot of wounded, uncomfortable, hurtful things that we went through, and the gift is you get to embrace it. And then go live in a positive new way, because then your level of compassion and joy is even at such a highest level because you already knew what it was like when it was really crappy. So you change all that crappiness into beautiful fertilizer.
I know that time.
Thank you, exactly. Oh heck yeah, we all have had it.
Sure.
We all. I haven't met anyone on this planet who hasn't yet. The gift is would you like to change it? That's it. And if you just have to decide. You just have to say, you know what, and realize you do matter and you can change. And you can live an abundant life. We're meant to live abundantly here. And change all those goofy beliefs about money, because we got a lot of goofy beliefs about money.
Oh, yeah.
Money is just money. A pile of money is not going to hurt you if it sits here, okay? It's money. What are you going to do with it? Would you love to share it? Would you love to give? And then let it start reproducing. It's just a piece. It's another relationship. So I wanted to offer that too, that Live abundantly, create what your passion is, create your whatever you would love. You matter, and you can shine and share your gifts.
But that's a big thing with a lot of us. We'll say, I have to pay my bills. I'm not making enough money. What do I do? And back to what you were programmed with, especially in our generation, what did our parents do? It was all about, well, what do you think? Money grows on trees? What are you doing? We have to save. What happens if we don't have enough money? So that's in your brain. So your thought is, well, I'm never going to have enough money. I'm not going to make it. But that's your belief and that's your block. I have a friend, and that's what she always says. I'm like, stop. Change your mindset. You're a wonderful person. Do so much charity work. You connect people all the time. She's a massive connector, but you don't benefit from it. You put all these people together. Yeah. They're thriving and you're not. And it's because of what's in her mind from her mother.
Exactly. And that's just a limiting belief. Yeah. See,
it's a limiting belief.
For her, she could have a private session, a 60-minute private session. If she's ready for the changes, she'll be amazed. She'll be amazed. When that actually changes to a new way, and then she can begin. And then with PSYCH-K, so you change the potential realm within you, and then you do have to go make the changes in your life. So the thing is it isn't just this genie bottle that you get.
Right.
Okay. I know, although genie bottles would be lovely. We get to dream, we get to change our potential realm, and then go live in that new way. So with the PSYCH-K changes, like even for her, she could make those changes, and then she's going to begin to go take some risks, go take some steps. You got to take some steps and some risks.
But you also have to do the work.
Yes.
And no matter what it is, I always say, everything is work. Right. It is. Even going to go clean the kitchen. Yeah. It's work. Some things are fun work, but it's work. And if you want to, why do we show up for work? Because we get something out of it, i.e. a paycheck, maybe, hopefully appreciation. You love your job, but you have to work at it. So if you want to change. I want to center on for a minute the age of consciousness, how things are changing now. Yeah. I think it's called the age of Aquarius, which began like in the late 60s, that song that came out by the Fifth Dimension, Age of Aquarius, but it's a real thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And in whatever you were raised in, it'll depend on if you're open to this or not, right? Because especially with religion or even just cultures, some people get afraid of welcoming the new changes happening.
Sure.
So
well, change can be scary.
Yeah, exactly. So the gift is just to understand that things are changing. If you can at least admit things are changing in this world, especially the last few years, we've seen a lot of changes happening.
Why is that? Is that because of COVID?
Oh, you mean the changes happening? Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, people call it COVID. That's a whole nother story. It's it's time. Like if people look at astrology, there's planets and stars. We are in what's called the Aquarian age. So things are designed for us, and it's actually all prophecy. If people talk about the Bible, it's prophetic what we're living in. We're living in the second coming right now. We actually are in Revelations right now, people. So as people would like to check in on that. And the gift is that we are actually meant to do even more than what Jesus even said. He said this, you're going to do more than I ever will, because all of us are stepping into our Christ consciousness now. And that's Christ consciousness means your fifth dimension, your unity consciousness. We call it with PSYCH-K your whole brain state. With PSYCH-K, you bring your left and right hemispheres together of your brain so you can live your optimal potential. This is literally what you do scientifically. It's a scientific shift change within you to expand your spirituality with you. We are living in these times to do that. We are in the time to bring heaven here on earth. This is it. We are in game time now. We're not in the stands anymore. This is game time. And the gift is all of us can do it. All of us. We can all live in love and light, harmony, and peace. We really can. It's one step at a time. All it takes is a decision to just begin.
And we're not talking about religion here. We're talking about spirituality, which you want to connect it to a religion, you can.
Sure.
Doesn't matter what you believe in, God, universe, whatever. Why wouldn't you want to change your life?
Exactly. Absolutely. And we were raised with all kinds of stuff. So whatever you're raised, whether it's no religion, some religion, science, nature, right? The gift is we're going to, whatever you got it. You got it for a reason. So use it. The gift here is start questioning things. Just question whatever you were taught.
I love that. Yeah, because we don't.
No.
We don't think about it. Like, why do I do that? Or why did that happen? There are reasons for it, but you need to look at them and you need to be open to listen to them or see the signs.
Thank
right?
you. Exactly. Yeah, there's a story of a woman who learned from her mother and grandmother with the ham, and they used to always cut off like a section of the ham, like a big old chunk of section. And she learned it from her grandmother, who learned it from her grandmother. It went on and on. Finally, the young girl asked her mom, "Mom, why do you cut that ham, a big chunk off?" Like, I don't know, because my mom did it and her grandma did it. She's
Right.
well, because that's a big chunk that you're leaving off. So the mom went and investigated. Why do we cut this off? Because she asked the question, why are we doing this? What is this? Just question it. Oh, it's because the great grandmother had a small pan and she couldn't fit the ham in it, so she cut it off.
So all this time they were
Yes.
throwing out that piece of ham?
Yes,
That's
they
it?
kept doing it because they were taught by their other ones that they never asked why they're doing it. So start
no.
asking yourself, why are you doing stuff? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, it goes
Why?
back to what we said in the beginning. The answer is within.
Yes.
If you go ask the question and be open to getting the answer, it's within you. You'll find it.
Thank you.
It's there.
Thank you. And you can change. So you can have the whole ham if you would like.
Oh, ham. Okay. I love ham, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's what it comes down to, everybody. Get psyched to change your life with PSYCH-K. And again, your website?
Oh, igniteandhealyourlife.com. So igniteandhealyourlife.com.
So great talking with you. I know you have workshops from time to time, so people can see those online as well. And it can be done virtually, right?
Yes, exactly. So we have online workshops that we offer. I am having one in November, if you can check that, November 18th. And then December, I'll be in Florida, December 2nd to the 4th in Florida, in person. So you can come in person if you want to learn how to use this for yourself and help others, because you'll actually be working with other people. So you can help your friends, your family, coworkers, and you can even eventually charge services for this if you'd like to be this a service. When you go to the online workshop, you start with yourself, which is really beautiful. It's a beautiful place to begin if you want to just begin with yourself in the comforts of your own home. And you get to learn this tool and begin to use it for you on a daily life. So instead of waking up with anxiety or fears or just disconnect or just frustrations of the same old patterns happening, how about you begin to change those? And then you begin to live in more gratitude and more love and more peace. And then guess what? Your light is going to, then their light is going to go spark other people. And then you help other people start lighting them up. This is what we're doing. We're lighting up the world.
Well, you put out that positive energy. Even you walk into a convenience store, and if you're putting out the right energy, you're going to see it come back. Like somebody's going to smile at you, and you're going to be like, what just happened there? Because we're not used to it.
That's exactly.
Or we're afraid to smile at somebody because we think it might be creepy. You know, that's our society now. That's the way it is. But we can change that.
Absolutely. Actually, and I was sitting on some grass by my grocery store talking to a friend.
Getting grounded.
Getting grounded, yeah, because I just felt like talking to my friend, and I can do that. And then this gentleman was riding his bike right in front of me. And actually, I saw him the other time I was at Kroger. He was walking across right with all the traffic. He just wanted to cross the street where all the traffic was instead of going to the light, which is interesting. So this gentleman, so when he went by, I just smiled and waved at him, shared my love. And he like looked at me and his whole face like changed, because before he was a little like this. He actually came back and started talking to me.
Wow.
He wrote back and then he said, thank you for that smile. And he started complaining about like the traffic in the road, and that's okay. It's just where he was, but his whole energy shifted. And then he was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna. You could tell he wanted to just cross it in a new way now. So he's just maybe even be more peaceful in more of a flow.
Wow. I had a similar, as you're saying it, situation. I was at the gym the other day, getting ready to go in. I'm sitting in my car, having a conversation on the phone, but it was a good vibe. And I felt like very positive about what was going on. Guy walks in front of my car on his way to go into the gym. I see him every once in a while. You know, I don't talk to him. Just I know I've seen his face at the gym. He passes by my car, stops, and he looks in. He's like, hey, how's it going? How's everything going? And I'm thinking to myself, why is he doing this? And then I thought, you know what? I'm in a positive mindset, and I swear, like I think my antenna was up. I think I attracted that positivity.
Yeah.
Then I saw him inside the gym. We started talking, and about workouts and stuff like that. And you put it out there, you're going to get it back. It's going to happen that way.
Yeah, and enjoy it, right? It's like, wow, thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And if
Yeah.
someone is being grumpy or doing whatever, you still have a choice then too. Because maybe, who knows what might be happening within you, you're not even realizing either.
Right.
You can always choose love. You can always choose peace. Your breath can help you. That's another big one. Even if you just take a deep breath and hold it and then blow it out a few times.
Scientifically proven.
Yes,
that
you can
it
actually
works.
shift yourself into more of a
Three
peace.
deep breaths in and
Yes.
out is like a reset button for your whole body.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
again, sounds woo-woo, but try it. What do you
Yeah,
got to lose?
exactly.
You could even be in a work meeting and stressed out. Nobody's going to know that you're going, let it go.
Yeah.
And right away, you're breathing out all the anxiety and all the stress, and now you can perform and function better at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary, fascinating talking with you. Learn so much, you know, and how we all operate. Again, igniteandheal.com.
Igniteandhealyourlife.com.
Healyourlife.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Igniteandhealyourlife.com.
Great having you with us.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
What a
Yeah.
joy.
People, get psyched. Change your life.